Well, happy Wednesday, everybody. Got rained out today, so I figured I'd get my Wood Wednesday video out of the way. It's actually still raining right now, so being confined in the camper while it is raining, it's a good time to do research and read the good book when you get a chance. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Bible first. Knife research second. But all of that aside, today's example is pretty special to me because I've been trying to put this kit together for a while. And I finally got this completed. This example is made by Napanoch Knife Company. It is an antique specimen. And this is an antique changer kit. The one snap is still together and it's pulled out of the leather. The tools are starting to poke through. Now usually these leather pouches are worded up here, but this one's so faded that you can't make anything out. This is one of the only examples I have from Napanoch Knife Company. But as you can see, it is a tool changer kit with wood handles, so that is why this is the example for Wood Wednesday. The knife is used and slightly worn down, slightly short, but not abused. I kind of had to piece this together, and pretty excited that I finally get the whole shebang. What you're looking at is now forgive me if I butcher the pronunciation of some of these words. This is an Ulery, U-L-E-R-Y, New York. Now, what you cannot see underneath the bolster is the same markings that are on all of the tools. Patent applied for. None of the examples of these I have found, not saying they're not out there, but none of the examples of these that I have found have patent numbers on them. They all say patent applied for, so narrowing down the dates on them can be a little questionable as far as trying to use patent. I don't know if they ever actually got a patent for this, but this is the number 602 Ulery pocket knife toolkit made by Napanoch Knife Company. See if I can get all of these in frame and laid out where you can tell what they are. Now, Napanoch Knife Company made some of the highest quality knives you could get your hands on in the early 1900s, along with New York Knife Company and many of the other great American knife manufacturers of that time. Very historic, very hard to come by nowadays, as far as some of the older manufacturers like Empire, Holly, Napanoch, New York Knife Co., Walden Knife Company, and so on and so forth. You know, there's a ton of them. And I am super stoked to have a Napanoch example in my collection. Although it took me a while to get it put together. It's done now. And it's a very neat talking point. Napanoch Knife Company. A knife manufacturing company was formed in 1900 when the brothers Irving and William Carman joined with William Hornbeak in leasing the Duval Rake Manufactory in Napanoch, New York. Using water as a power source and employing between 15 and 25 craftsmen, the factory produced knives of exceptionally good quality. The company was renamed to Napanoch Knife Company in 1905 and was incorporated in 1909. In addition to knives branded Napanoch Knife Company and Na-Panoch Knife Co., the company made private branded knives on contract for other companies such as Wilbert Cutlery Co., Ulery, Keene Cutlery Co., and HSB Hibbard, Spencer, and Bartlett. The corporation was sold to Winchester Repeating Arms Company in 1919, about the same time that Winchester acquired the Eagle Knife manufacturing facilities. Some of the skilled craftsmen were transferred by Winchester to the Eagle factory, and the brand Napanoch was continued for 2 or 3 years on knives produced in that factory. So even though 1919 Winchester bought Napanoch out, Napanoch was still used on the Winchester produced knives. It says for 2 to 3 years, so we assume 1921 to 22 was the last Napanoch stampings. The factory in Napanoch was purchased from Winchester in 1921 by 4 former employees, and it again manufactured knives, this time stamped Honk Falls Knife Company from 1921 until it burned in 29. In 1931, the Napanoch trademark was revived when John Kushner converted an old barn into a knife shop near his Napanoch, New York home. These knives, stamped Napanoch Knife Co., Napanoch, New York, USA, were made until his death in 1938. So, there are some later Napanoch produced by John Kushner. During the 1990s, Tennessee River Valley Knife Association produced a number of German-made knives marked Napanoch Knife Co. These knives were of high quality, but collectors should be aware that they are not the original Napanoch. And I'm pretty sure there are German reproductions of many of early American brands, such as Napanoch, Honk Falls, Wallkill, Riverworks, and so on and so forth. They're not necessarily a fake knife, but they are reproductions, and guys need to look at some of the clues of how the knife is constructed and how the tang stamp looks to tell the difference between reproductions and genuine antique knives. Now, I have some examples of some reproductions, and some are just fake knives, not licensed reproduction. So, hopefully sometime in the near future I'm going to do a video on this, on how to determine genuine antique knife versus a fake versus a reproduction. I have bought some of the examples of fake knives and reproductions just to show the viewers here what to look for. But anyways, I'm getting off track. I'm rambling here. Y'all can see in Goins under Ulery, it shows this number 602 pocket knife toolkit. Now, how many years Ulery actually offered this kit, I cannot be for certain. They are dated 1902 to 1921, which is pretty close to what Napanoch is dated. But if you see here, it talks about them moving from 7 Warren Street, 1902 they were at 7 Warren Street, 1909 they were at 25 Warren, and 1913 they were at 11 Warren. And in this ad, it shows 25 Warren. So it's probably a safe assumption to date this set between 1909 and 1913, just going off of those facts. I'll roll in a clip from another, or a picture from another catalog, so that y'all can see it more clearly. The photo in Goins is from the excerpt from June 1910 American Cutler magazine. And the one I will roll in is from, I'm pretty sure it's from a Napanoch catalog. But anyways, everyone has use for a knife cork puller. Wait, here it is. Here's the cork puller slash cap lifter. This is kind of a 2-in-1 for bottle opening. The reamer, or some people would just call an awl file, and this is a dual cut. So this is a cross cut file and a straight cut file. That way you've got a fine and coarse side to your file. Bone saw. No, it's not a bone saw, just a regular saw. It doesn't have the dual rows of teeth. Chisel. And flathead screwdriver. Whether camping, boating, teaming, driving, in the shop, factory, office, store, warehouse, automobile, on the farm, bicycle, or around the home, any tool firmly attached to or detached from the pocket knife in a second. So I think it's a safe bet to date this 1909 to 1913 just from the catalogs and what I have found. Could be later, as far as towards the end of Napanoch Knife Company, 1920s. But still, antique and cool nonetheless. All of the tools are stamped Ulery, New York, USA, patent applied for. None of them have a patent number, and that seems to be the common theme I see with these. Not a perfect specimen, but still super stoked to have it all put together and completed, the set completed, to add a Napanoch contract knife to my collection. And the fact it's a changer just makes it that much better, because it's not just a knife, it's a complete kit. But I hope y'all got a kick out of this and learned something today about Ulery and Napanoch Knife Company. Now, Ulery did have some other examples of knives not made by Napanoch. That's just who they're mainly associated with. There's a Ulery hobo knife with jig bone handles that's very beautiful. You know, fork and spoon, the works hobo pattern. That was made by Union Cutco / K-Bar. And man, a lot of these older patterns and older knives are just, they're all bought up. And it's kind of saddening to those of us who do the research and see all these old patterns and old knives and would just love to have them, but finding them is near impossible. But don't be discouraged, because there's plenty of knives out there to collect and buy up. I mean, plenty of knives to learn about, plenty of knives to research, even though we see the antique and the beautiful bone and stag and the pre-1900s manufacturers. It's still a very rewarding hobby. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna quit rambling. And this is my Ulery number 602 toolkit knife, changer knife, antique from the early 1900s for Wood Wednesday. And I hope y'all got a kick out of it and learned something today. I've had fun learning about it and piecing this together. Anyways, it's Hillbilly Proud. Thanks for checking this out. Y'all have a good one.